as leader of your country, you must have a personal position. In principle, do you support the right of Bougainville's people to choose their future path, to choose independence?
I have a duty to defend Section 2 of my Constitution, and that is the sovereignty established in 1975.
Which is to say you don't support Bougainville independence, in principle?
You necessarily don't have to put words into my mouth.
Well, what does that mean? If you have a duty to uphold Section 2 of your Constitution, which is sovereignty in your view, how should we interpret that when it comes to the independence issue for Bougainville?
Respectfully, as I did indicate, the process is running its course. I'm the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, and I'm entitled to reserve my opinions.
So Bougainville's leaders say they want independence by September 1st, 2027 at the absolute latest. Given what you understand about the process, do you think it's possible?
Anything is possible. Anything is possible.
That date is possible?
Anything is possible. I can't preempt the outcome of the moderation and the process that is running. We are in 2025, so a time period in 2026 until 2027. Again, Parliament is bigger than James Marape. Parliament decides. The Parliament have a mindset of its own.
If Bougainville were to have independence, do you think that would trigger other independence movements within Papua New Guinea?
We have, we are a nation of so much diversity, the most diverse nation on planet Earth. And so it's not Bougainville versus PNG, a color versus another color, a language versus another language. It's a series of a set of languages in Bougainville versus over 800 languages in Papua New Guinea, all having their own traditional governance and worldview. 50 years ago, we were isolated from each other. Today, we conglomerate of tribes into one sovereignty. And so in that context, the 20 other provinces exist in our country. They're not showing much sign of restlessness in terms of detachment from our nationhood. But provinces are crying out for autonomy. Bougainvilles have been pace setters prior to 1975. They want to be on their own. The provincial government systems we have today was introduced at the backdrop of Bougainville's cry for independence. Mind you, the September 1st date was a September 1st date in 1975 when they declared unilateral independence. That's 15 days prior to our national independence. As a compromise, provincial government was brought into existence in Papua New Guinea. And we have 21 provinces today, and Bougainville as a special region. And so I can't disillusion myself from the fact that there extend possibility into time, into the future. Other parts of our country may see Bougainville setting pace. And one thing many forget is that at the barrel of a gun, the quest for peace was brought in. And so we have so much prevalence of gun also in other parts of our country. Other parts of our country can, fight with the national government and then said, all right, let's truce, have peace, and part of that could be referendum for independence. That is a dangerous precedent in a nation of so much diversity. So as Prime Minister today, my due care is not just to the present, but also to the future. So we work this path diligently. In the time between now and when we're dealing with the rest of Bougainville, we're trying to entrench the rest of our country into absolute clarity in law that no one must talk about autonomy and move to independence at the same breath.
Is there any foreseeable scenario in which you would support the use of military force in Bougainville?
We will put into law in our constitution that never again into the future will PNG defense step into Bougainville. Never again will PNG police step into Bougainville. And that leaves my concern for Bougainville open. Whilst PNG police and PNG defense will not step into Bougainville, what will happen if lawlessness re-emerges in Bougainville? In the Bougainville crisis, we had fractures also. A society that was equally divided between, for instance, the Bougainville Revolution Army and the Bougainville resistance fighters. The generation of children of those factions still remain today. And so as part of my bigger scheme of things in the concern about Bougainville, there's a concern running into that space. What happens if lawlessness emerges into time? Because PNG defense and PNG police will never step into Bougainville ever again. Scars are too big. We don't want that scar to reopen again.